We'll start with some demonstrations, and then we'll kind of fill you in on what mule jumping is as we go along. You all probably know more about it than I do in any case, but we'll start with a little demonstration by Mater. Mater is 5 years old. He's 33 inches tall, and this is his second jump ever. So Mater is still a beginner, so I'm sure he could use some encouragement.
Woo!
Mater is here with Ethan and Virginia Norris from St. Robert, Missouri, in Pulaski County, Missouri, and this is their second time joining us for the Hirsch Feed and Farm Supply Mule Jump here at the Old Time Music Ozark Heritage Festival. We're glad to have them with us. Also with us are Richie and Carolyn DeMint from Centerville in Reynolds County, Missouri. And you might know Richie as the Mule Jump Preacher. He's been kind enough to... Yeah, nice hand there from Mater. Richie, the
Ethan.
Mule Jump Preacher, along with his wife Carolyn, have coordinated this mule jump throughout its entire history, which is going on. Oh mercy, I've lost track of time. I think the first demonstration was in 2006 to that.
You know if the horses will be back today?
I don't think they will.
We've had all kinds of weather. Richie, do you want to say
that I'd be here? That's Mater. He's actually what you call a little mini mule. You've heard of the miniature horses.
You're welcome.
He's a cross between a little miniature jack and a miniature pony. And I believe he's about, what, 30 inches? 33 inches. And they measure your mules and your horses from the hoof to the withers, to the top, right there. And that's where you get your measurement. And so he's doing a pretty good job. I'm gonna go over here and raise it up again. He's probably up to about 28 inches, so we'll see.
Thank you, Richie, and thank you, Ethan. The way this works, in case you hadn't already caught on to this, is that in an actual competition, which this is not, this is only a demonstration right now, but in an actual competition, each mule gets 2 opportunities to try to clear the bar without breaking what the bar is resting on, or just pushing it downward. So if each mule gets 2 opportunities to do that, and each time the mule clears the bar, we record that height, and we just cycle through all of the mules until we get to a point where one of them, can't clear the bar at some point, and then that's the winning.
28 inches and he failed at 30.
Okay. Richie said that Mater managed to clear 28 inches, didn't manage to clear 30, but he's getting close to being able to jump his height, which, believe it or not, I can't do. I don't know how many of us could do that. So nice hand for Mater. He's off to a good start. And he's 14 years old. He's 48 inches tall. And he's been at this a while, so he makes it look easy. Seemed like he really didn't even have to think about that one. Pedro has won several major competitions. He's won victories at the Pea Ridge Mule Jump in Arkansas, and also at the Fort Worth Livestock Show in Texas. So Pedro's got quite a bit of experience under his belt, under his harness. So again, the procedure is to keep raising the bar until we get to the maximum height that any of the mules can clear, and then that is whichever mule manages to clear that maximum height is the winner. And we also have second and third place winners in each class, and we'll have 2 classes by height today. Only 1 mule will be in the taller class, so it's kind of a foregone conclusion who's going to win in the taller class, but we won't say which one that is because we don't want to. We don't want him just sandbagging, as they say. And once again, Pedro just sails right over. It's pretty much second nature to him by this point. Who knows how mules are produced?
His record is 61 and a half, and they did it here.
Richie just said that Pedro's record is 61 and a half, and Pedro achieved that record right here at the Old Time Music Ozark Heritage Festival Mule Jump.
So we don't know what he's going to do today. That's just up to the mule.
Right.
We'll 44 inches right now. He's almost his height.
All right, the bar is set at 44 inches currently. I imagine probably quite a few of you do. Who here knows how mules are produced? They're not produced in quite the usual fashion. Right. Okay. So how is a mule produced? What two animals are involved in the production of a mule? That's right, a horse and a donkey. A mule is a hybrid animal. Mules, with extremely rare exceptions, and they really are extremely rare exceptions, don't reproduce. Mules don't reproduce. They are a hybrid animal, resulted from breeding horses and donkeys together. And I think Ethan's going to correct something I said here.
I actually looked up the history on that one. There are, in the last 500 years, there are 60 cases of a mule reproducing. So that's really extreme.
He likes the little trivia.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Hey!
Now Pedro is thinking it over. I'd say that's wise. Excellent job, Pedro. I could see the wheels turning in your mind there, calculating what sort of thrust you would need and at what angle. So mules are a hybrid animal produced from donkeys and horses, and mules are the Missouri state animal, as you might be aware. Back about
50 inches. Come back after a while, and we'll see what higher we can do.
Excellent. Yeah, Pedro has now exceeded his height. Pedro just jumped 50 inches, and he's been known to jump even 11 and a half inches higher than that. So we'll see if he can duplicate that record. Maybe with enough encouragement, he could even be persuaded to exceed that record.
He likes
Back when folks were still using mules on a large scale in farming, of course some people still use mules in farming, but back when folks used to use mules on a large scale basis as draft animals in farming, Missouri was the foremost. Missouri was the foremost mule producing state by far. There was really kind of a mule breeding tradition here in Missouri, and so it's the state animal. Mules were more popular for farming basically from here south than from here north. There are plenty of exceptions, but generally mules were most popular in the lower part of the Midwest and in the South, whereas tended to be more horses from about here up north into the Midwest and the Great Plains. Nicely done. That's Marshall, who also is a beginner. He too is jumping only for the second time in public. Oh, sorry. I was absorbed in what I was talking about. Mac also has jumped. Mac is 6 years old, 52 inches tall, and belongs with Richie and Carolyn. And Mac also has won second place and a few first place awards in some major competitions. So we're honored to have such distinguished mules with us. This is Mac's second year of jumping. And now we're going to see what Marshall can do again. Marshall, once again, is 5 years old, 49 inches tall. All right, nicely done, Mac. In addition to being used as draft animals in farming and sometimes gardening, mules have been used in timber harvesting. They still are sometimes used to skid logs. Some folks who work in timber harvesting prefer to use mules rather than mechanical equipment because in some cases they can be more nimble. So they're used in logging. They also were used in many cases in mines. All right, good job, Marshall. And Mac, well done. But they were also used in some cases actually in many cases in mining to haul equipment underground in coal mines, but also in lead mines, of which there are still a fair number here in Missouri. Missouri was, and I think maybe still is, the foremost lead-producing state, and Richie has a background in lead mining, and used to be that mules were used down underground. They came to realize that wasn't a great existence for mules, and it's especially when they would come up out of the ground if for some reason mine closed, got mined out, etc., and mules would come back up above ground. Of course, they weren't used to the sunlight, and so that was awfully hard on their eyes. So for that reason and others, mules aren't used in mining anymore. But yeah, if anybody knows how to translate what Mater just said to Mac there, be interesting. We thank Hirsch Feed and Farm Supply of West Plains and Thayer for sponsoring this demonstration and the competition later on this evening. Oh, nice try, Marshall. You're doing well for just your. Oh, I'm getting all confused. I'm sorry. Mac Mac is still learning too. This is just his second year at this.
Mac's got the stripes on his legs.
Ah, thank you. And where are you placing the bar? Okay, bar's now at 40 inches.
I think Mac's about like his master. He just does what he has to do. Did you hear that? Hey, you have to ask Carolyn that and see if that's true.
You notice he just barely cleared that. He's kind of like he's been around me too long. He just barely cleared that, but he just does what he has to do.
All right, Marshall, just
Yeah, let's go. Come on. Go.
I know you can do it, Marshall. You've done it before.
Let's go. Up, up, up.
Thank you. Nicely done, Marshall. Marshall, well, mules in general are very cautious. They
I'm good.
glad to hear that, Ethan.
Just only a head injury. I had that when we got here.
One reason why some farmers used to prefer mules to horses is that, at least as I understand it, you all might know more about this than I do, but as I understand it, mules have a better sense of when they're becoming exhausted, and when they know that they're so exhausted that it's gonna be bad for their health if they continue, they'll stop, and you can hardly persuade them to go any further if they know that they're on the verge of being sick or hurting themselves. Whereas sometimes horses don't do that; they'll just keep going until they're about ready to drop, or maybe until they drop. Well, Mac sailed right over that. Nicely done, Mac.
I think the ground's a little unlevel there. It's level.
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Come on. Go behind. Go behind.
Go, man.
Yeah. Up.
Yeah, Mac seems to be in excellent form today. How many of you here believe that this mule jump was once featured in the Washington Post? Well, most of you are right. That was a trick question. It was not the Washington Post. It was the Wall Street Journal. I know that may be hard to believe, but it's true. In 2011, this is the sad part of the story. Unfortunately, a reporter from the Wall Street Journal Chicago bureau happened to be here in southern Missouri covering the aftermath of the Joplin tornado. But as he was driving back to Chicago, he happened to catch a radio ad for the Old Time Music Ozark Heritage Festival, and it mentioned mule jumping. Sorry, I'm probably distracting you there, Mac. But he happened to hear one of the radio ads for the festival that mentioned that there would be a mule jump, and he called up his editor and said, "What's a mule jump?" And the editor said, "I have no idea." And he said, "Well, they're having one in West Plains, Missouri in a couple weeks." And the editor said, "Well, maybe you better go cover that then." So we had coverage in the Wall Street Journal in 2011, and the article is still available online, and there's also a short little video, a little documentary video available online. If you look up Wall Street Journal mule jumping, this is the only mule jump that's ever been featured in the Wall Street Journal. So if you Google Wall Street Journal and mule jump, you'll get that article and that video, in which Richie is prominently featured, as he should be.
Yeah, I got a phone call one day, and this guy said, "I'm from the Wall Street Journal." And I said, "You got the wrong number." He said, No. He said, "I've talked to a friend of yours," and he said, "I'm down here covering the tornado that went through Joplin, Missouri." And that was a tragedy, wasn't it? And but anyway, he began to talk to me, and I think his name was Doug, wasn't it, or Clay, or Doug. And he come down to my farm, and we walked around the farm, and he was a real nice fella. He done an interview on me, so I've got something to tell my grandchildren, that I was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and not really concerned me, just my mule. And his name was Clyde. And I don't know whether it's in the archives or anywhere, but Clyde, he passed away at 32 years. I guess that's been about 5-7 years ago or whatever. But he put on a show for a lot of folks. Clyde did, and then the Lord sent me they call me the mule jump preacher. So I give all credit to the Lord. But anyway, then he sent Pedro, and Pedro's helping me through my later years. Amen. So. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you how that happened. And I did one year, I'm talking about me a little bit, I did ride Clyde, and I had another mule called Babe. And how many believe that the Lord speaks to your heart? And he was speaking to my heart, and he said, "I want you to ride across Missouri." So in 1998, I rode Mule and Babe all the way past 60 Highway, right through this part of the country. And I rode all the way across Missouri on my mules. So I've got that for my grandkids too. We're going to try him. There's a reason. When they feel like that, I learned this from an old man, that when they feel it, you want to kind of put in their mind that they can accomplish anything, and that's why we lower it down and let them think that they finished on a good note.
Thank you. That's good mule psychology. It probably applies to the human species too. All right, give Max some encouragement here. All right, sailed right over, Mac. Nicely done. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Did anybody come late and not get to see any? Somebody just come in?
The competition will start at 7 o'clock this evening, and the competition is always fierce, believe me. So tell all your friends and neighbors and come back at 7 o'clock. And thank you all for being with us. We appreciate it. Nice to see you.